How to fill the course report. This is the final form from NCAAA, which is now part of Education and Training Evaluation Commission. Annual Program Report, Program Name, for example, electrical engineering, qualification level, bachelor in electrical engineering, department, for example, computer and electrical engineering. In one department, maybe more than one program. This is for electrical engineering program, and maybe there is another program, for example, computer engineering. College engineering, institution, Majma University, academic year 2019-2020, main location Majma City, engineering building. If you have any branches offering the program for male, female, or another city, you have to mention here. For our program, we have only one branch in Majma University, only for male students. The table of contents should be updated after finishing the course, the annual program report. Now, implementation of previous action plan. Considering the recommendations of previous year annual report, list the planned actions and their status. Really, you have to prepare your previous annual report, and it should contain your action plan based on the results of KPIs measurement, and you have to fill this table with the planned actions, who's the person was responsible about this action, the planned action completed or not, date of completion, and if not completed, why. For example, you measured for example, one of KPIs related to number of papers published in the program by instructors, and the ratio was below the benchmark, and you had an action plan, for example, to make a seminar how to publish in ISI journals, for example, and this, for example, how to publish paper in ISI journal. Responsibility, for example, research committee in your department. The planned completion date, for example, the 5th week, 1st semester, for example. Completed, for example, yes or no. If no, you have to write reason and another proposed actions. If yes, do not write the reason and proposed action. Of course, maybe you measured 35 KPIs, and of course some of them they are related to NCAAA. Some of them 5, 6, 7, 8 KPIs, they were below the benchmark, and you wrote your action plan in the previous program or annual program report. And in this report, in this new form, you have to begin with what you did with your previous action plan, achieved or not achieved. Now let's go to the section B, program statistics, student statistics in the year concerned. In the year concerned means the year, this year, 2019, 2020. So this is the concerned year. Number of students who started the program, number of students who graduated, and number of students who completed major tracks within the program, if applicable. Of course, in this year, for example, number of students who started the program, which means the number of students that all students in your program that they start. For example, 230 students. Number of students who graduated, for example, 45. Now, if you have tracks, you have to specify. In our electrical engineering, we have 3 tracks. One is not active. For example, power track. Power track, for example, 23. And we have communications track 22, and we have control track not active. So no graduate students. Now, number of students who completed the program in the minimal time. Based on your study plan, students should, for example, spend 5 years or 10 levels in order to complete your program, because your program contains 10 levels. Any students completed your program within 10 semesters, 10 or 5 years or less, means these students, they finished with minimum or minimal time. Of course, you need statistics from your trusted source and to calculate these numbers. For example, numbers who completed the program in minimal time for the year concerned, which means if you have 2019, 2020, you have to go back 5 years and see the students who started this program and they finished in this year with minimal time. For example, 24 students. 24 students. 24 students. Percentage of students who completed program in minimal time, this is the completion rate. If they started, for example, 35 and they completed 24, your percentage will be 24 over 35 students. Number of students who completed an intermediate hour specified as an early exit point, it is not applicable. None, because there is no any intermediate hour specified in our program. Percentage of students who completed an intermediate hour specified as an early exit point, also if there are none, which means also none. There is no percentage. Comment on any special or unusual factors that might have affected the completion rate. As you know, the completion rate is important, and maybe in this year something happened or affected. If this is, you have to relate to the quality committee and to other reports, official reports, in order to write about these factors. If the completed or the completion rate is normal, you can write no comments, or the completion rate is within the normal ranges. So this is what we can write here. If something affected, you have to write, for example, not 24, maybe 15, 16. The completion rate is very low. You can write, there are maybe different reasons for this low percentage of the completion rate. Number of students who studied the program and number of the students who graduated. This is an important result to show that the number of students in your program is increasing or decreasing, and maybe here I think you have to write not the total students. It is the not whole total, because we said about the year concern. So here, for example, new students in this year or year concern, or for example 58, which means new students, 58 students, they graduated or completed 45. Which means my program increased by 13 students. But if you have in the opposite way, for example, 45 they started and 58 they graduated, which means your number of students is decreasing, and you have to solve this problem by accepting more students, or maybe to change the rules or the registration requirements. Now, cohort analysis of current graduate batch. This is, as you know, see the word batch, which means you have to write it for male and female. In our program, there is no female, so it is more easy for me. But for you, if you have female section, you have to do more work and to collect data, and you have to compare between male and female results and to justify results, but in only male batches it is easy. As you see that there have branches here, and you have the cohort batches. So if you have male and female, should be specified here and specified also for branches. For example, you have to write for 3 years ago, last year, and the current year. This analysis should be taken from your admission and registration date sheet, or maybe if you have a statistical center, you can take all data from there and they will provide you with accurate data. Why we need this? In order to show the progress and in your program based on the number of graduate students during the last 3 years. I will not fill all the table here, but for example, 3 years ago, total cohort enrollment number of students, for example, it was 35. During the study, it is not about withdrawn from course, withdrawn from the program. Going to a new or another program, for example, for students, retain till year end, for example, 30, 31, maybe now they passed, for example, not passed 5, passed 26, so the passing rate will be 26 over 31. You see 4 they are withdrawn, retained till year end or 31 completed, but the completed passed 26, and for female, for example, 27 withdrawn, for example 6, we have here 21, not passed 3, which means we have 18, and we have 18 over 21. So you have to write the total here, and as you see will be so before, and we have here 30, 44 over 52. 2 years ago, maybe it was better. Your total cohort enrollment 50. As you 50, this is the enrollment, and as you see, female maybe 45, we have 7, we have 2, and we have 43. There is one question. Some students didn't pass, and they are concerned with this batch. This is for the next year. This is the total cohort enrollment for this batch. Do not mix between them. And here we have also 43, not passed, 9 or 7, and so on. After filling this table for all current credit batches, you will see that this is the ratio of graduate students based on the batch. See our percentages here, we have percentages here, and we have for last year and the current year, which means 2019, 2020. And you will see your progress in passing rate. Now, you can write comments here. For example, the passing rate is increased in the last 2 years due to several reasons. You can write, okay, and so on. If it is bad, write why it is bad. If it is good, write what it is good. If there is a drop in one of the years, you can write there was a drop and the pass rate was very bad in one of the years. You have to comment on the results. But of course, you will have to write mainly about your current year. Here, this is the current year, and it is important to comment, justify the statistics here. Add more rows for further reads if needed. Attach separate cohort analysis report for each branch. Really, you can make report analysis here. The report analysis is important You can write more explanation and more detailed information about students who is withdrawn, who is left the program or didn't pass, and make results and analysis with KPIs or with the comparison with the benchmark or something like this. Analysis of program statistics. Now you have to write your strengths, areas for improvement, and priorities for improvement. The analysis of program statistics, this is related to B. So you are writing about all of these results, and you are writing here your comments. The strength, maybe you can see the passing rate is good. You can write, for example, the strength that the number of students is increased during, for example, the last 3 years. You can write that comparison analysis between male and female sections is provided, and so on. So you have to comment. Here is improvement, maybe writing, for example, regarding, for example, the percentages of withdrawn students should be studied. For students, for example, anything you see that needs improvement. Priorities, this is, look at priorities for improvement. This is something urgent. If there's nothing urgent, you can write nothing. But if you have something urgent and now should be improvement, for example, regarding the number of students, the registration, to change the condition or admission requirements, you can write here. Now, program learning outcomes assessment. To fill this table, program learning outcomes assessment results. As you see, because we are filling the annual program report, we are talking about program learning outcomes. For every program, we have several learning outcomes, and based on NCAAA domains, new domains, we have 3 domains, as you see: knowledge, skills, and competence. The knowledge, we can write several PLOs or learning outcomes that they are related to knowledge. For example, to know something or to apply knowledge, and so on. So it is based, you have to take them directly from the program specifications. You don't have to write them or to think something new. Just take them directly from the program specifications. For skill, for example, design, solving, engineering problems. For example, competence, teamwork, ethics, leadership, and so on. So we have competence, skills, and knowledge. The assessment methods can be direct and indirect. The direct methods like exams, presentations, homework, quizzes, they are all direct. Indirect, it's about making a survey. students, a survey for students to know their results or their opinion regarding the learning outcomes. So you have to specify. For example, for this, maybe you can write exam or exams, for example. This is also maybe you can write exams, you can write homework, for example. This is all the same for design. You can write maybe senior design or something, or micro project for solving maybe also exam, and so on. You can also take them directly from the program specification for teamwork, for example, presentation, work ethics, for report, to check the similarity, and so on. So this is your assessment methods. Now the performance target, it is also specified in the program specification, and it is approved by the quality in the program. For example, 75, the performance target. For this, maybe also 75. For solving problems, maybe 80. Maybe for teamwork, not less 90%, for example. So these performance targets, they are should be approved, and you can take them also directly from the program specification. The results, of course, it is should be taken the courses that they are participated in measuring these learning outcomes, and take the average. For example, if this learning outcome is measured by 5 courses, take the results rubrics for all 5 courses and write the result here. For example, this is 80%, this is 65, this is 81, this is, for example, 90, and so on. So this should be taken from the courses, and I think it can be found inside the course report, and take the average for every program learning outcome. Of course, you have to make comments on the program learning outcome assessment result. Why? Because, for example, here you have the result is less the benchmark. This is about design. So you have to comment what is the problem with design. So you have to write this. You have a problem with design. What are the reasons how you can solve this problem? So 1 star, 2 stars. Let's have a look here for our stars. You see, I cannot see stars here, but include the results of measured learning outcomes during the year of the report according to the program plan for measuring learning outcomes. Really, it is important that you have a program plan to measure your learning outcomes. For example, in this year, for example, I have more for my program 15 learning outcomes, program learning outcomes, and I have a plan to measure all of them within 4 years. So in this year, I will measure, for example, 5 of them or 4 of them. So I will choose these courses that they are related to these 4 PLOs, and I will measure them and put them in this report. This is not meaning that instructors, they are measuring also specific learning outcomes. They are measured all learning outcomes related to their course learning outcomes. But for this annual report, you have a plan. So within 4 years, you can measure all learning outcomes, have feedback, and you can make update to your program, or to submit for accreditation after 4 years or 5 years. And you have planned 4 years plan or 5 years plan until you have graduate students to make a modification or update for your program. Attach a separate report on the program learning outcomes assessment results for male and female sections and for each branch if any. If you have, write. If you don't have, just write a report, because this is a report is to show them more detailed results regarding male, female, and branches, to show is there any big difference between results in different sections or in different branches. If you don't have, you don't write, you don't attach this report. If you have only male and only one branch, there is no need for this report. Analysis of programming that comes now, you write trend. For example, students have a good knowledge, for example, knowledge, and so on. For example, you can write that all PLOs are measured using rubrics. For example, here is improvement. For example, design as a skill should be improved. If you have priorities for improvement, write them. No, if you don't have, don't write them. Now for section D, summary of course reports. Teaching of planned courses or units. As you know, you have to read all course reports for 2 semesters, because this is an annual program report. For every course should contain units and topics. These courses, you have to write here the courses that were planned and not taught during the academic year, indicating the reasons and the compensating actions. So if you have 45 courses, and for example 5 courses, some of units or topics, they are not taught. Okay, for example, I have EE360. What is the topics uncovered? For example, this is only an example. For example, microprocessors algorithm. For example, and specifications. The reasons, for example, the semester is shorter, for example, to 14 weeks. If you have, you don't have, because you are writing here, if in the course report it's written compensating actions, for example, no need, because, for example, the CLOs are not affected. Or you can write, for example, the topic will be, for example, taught in the next course in 365 in the first 2 weeks. And this is, and you can write all courses here with untaught topics or units. After that, courses with variations. List courses with marked variations in results that are stated in the course reports, including completion rate, grade distribution, student results, and giving reasons for these variations and action taken for improvement. In this, here everything is clear. But here now you are talking about the completion rate, the grade distribution, which should be discussed in the department council, and some of courses with unusual or with high or low statistics results for completion rate or grades should be mentioned and justified by the instructor himself, and the department council should discuss this and accept or not accept his justification. But what you are doing here, you have to take these informations from the course reports, and in the course report should be including the justification and reasons. For example, course name and code. Let's take the same course, the variation. For example, in the completion rate, the completion rate, for example, is low. For example, equals 55%. Reasons for variations, maybe different reasons. For example, the performance of students was not of high level, or for example, the final exam was difficult. Any reason you want to write. What is the action taken? The action should be taken by the instructor and also by the department council. For this movie, no action. No action. Or, for example, choose more suitable time for the lecture, and it is preferred to be more times. So there are different reasons. Another courses, EE 234, for example, the average is 95, which means no normal distribution, and it is shifted to the right. Okay, what is the action? No action due to the low number of students, for example, and for every course. Okay, now results you have to have strengths. For example, most of courses grades distribution are within the normal ranges. For example, air improvement, some courses have high completion rates or something else, and action should be taken. What is the priorities for improvement? This also should be taken from department council or the quality committee. It is not this annual program report should be filled by an experienced person and the committee, but based on information taken from trusted sources, as statistical data or decisions or justification should be taken from trusted sources, department council, minutes, and so on. Program activities. Now, regarding this section, the program activities related to the student counseling and support. The activities implemented, I think this is easy. Every program in the beginning of the year, it organizes some activities for students for advising, academic advising. For example, advising day or advising week or something. It should be activities implemented here or distributing of students over instructors or making new forms or anything should be implemented here. For example, academic advising day, pre-extension, the Department of Computer and Organized and Electrical Engineering Organized Advising Day and so on. Just be careful here that maybe the activity it was organized at college level and your program is a part of the college, so you can write it here, the college organized advising day, and you can write here comments on student counseling and support. You can write, for example, what if you in the program faced some advising problems or support, or you can write here, for example, including performance evaluation on these activities. The performance evaluation is very important here. If you want to write the comments, it should be based on an evaluation. Not just to write, oh, it was okay and nice, and you have to include performance evaluation and like a survey, like something to show or data to show that it was a success activity and was provided with high efficiency and good results. Professional development activities for faculty and other staff is also the courses and maybe the instructors or the other staff, they participated in some courses, workshop or other things should be specified here and should be activities implemented and redistributed. For example, workshop, how to fill the and you can write here, for example, the quality department, for example, activity or workshop, anything, and you can write briefly here. Comment on professional development for faculty. Of course, you can include in performance evaluation, survey, anything, and write here. Of course, including action time, number of participants, and another. It is just as evidence because you can write anything here. Oh, I organized, I did, but you need an evidence. The evidence can be taken from the organized committee, or maybe it is published on the website or from the department council, and you should have an evidence to show the time and number of participants, results, and any other statistics can be written. Research and innovation. For research and innovation also should be activity implemented for example, workshop how to fill ISI paper, or maybe some activities should maybe not organized by the program, maybe by the college, or maybe by the research deanship, or maybe by other deanships or outside the university. So you have to mention here this activity and what is the description and the comments. For example, I have 10 instructors, they participated in a workshop for IEEE or Explore or something, and you write these activities here. Community partnership, also what the program, which activities implemented by program for society or for community. You can write here activity implemented, organize the day, for example, in the mall for example, to show something related to electrical engineering, computer engineering, or maybe we participated in some activities in repairing buildings or something. You can, or we make a visit to an industrial company, and we solve some problems, technical problems, and so on. This should be written here, and it is important. My advice is to fill these three things, the counseling support and the professional development and research and even a community partnership. All of these should be included in your annual operational plan. Your operational plan based on your committees and units tasks and should include for example, you have a committee responsible about community, a committee responsible about research, and they should include in their operational plans these activities and to follow them and to implement them and to write them. It will be easy to fill the annual report if you have your based on your operational plan. Not only the program specifications is related mainly to academic, to program learning outcomes for KPIs. Maybe it's good, but should be all of these reflected in your operational plan and your maybe also development plan that based on the KPIs measurement results. So you have to write those things here. For example, I organized or most of my instructors participated. I did the 3 activities related to community. The improvement, for example, the community activities where, for example, were limited and need to be, and something to be increased, to be more specific, and write your everything. Now, program evaluation. Evaluation of courses. This is the course code, the course title, student evaluation, other evaluations, developmental recommendations. This section is very easy to fill. Why? You have to go to the course report, and you will see in every course report should include the student's evaluation for the course. And other evaluations, it is specified by external reviewer, by another instructor, by internal reviewer, but most of you, to make it easy for you, send your exams or course reports or any document to your colleague and as another evaluator, and he will write this evaluation for you. So you can go to the course report directly. Of course, you have course means first semester and second semester. For example, EE 360, the micro processors, students evaluation, yes, other evaluation, yes, developmental recommendation. First of all, for example, to use internet material in education. This is from students evaluation. From maybe instructor evaluation, your colleague or other evaluation, you have to do something, recommendation, for example, to give attention to the PLO's results, for example, that are related to competence, for example, and you are right. The same for other courses. Just take it from the courses and fill it in. The student evaluation of the program quality. This is the evaluation date. As you know, there is course evaluation by students and we have program evaluation by students. The program evaluation, for example, if you have high-level students, 7th, 8th level, and more, they can participate. For example, the evaluation date 12/12/2019, a number of participants, for example, 65 students. This is from students' feedback. The strength, for example, anything about the program, because the program contains about 20 questions and feedback. Take the results of questions and feedback and write them here, and you have just to make a response, not you. This is response by the responsible person. If the strength is related to the quality, the response should be by the quality committee. If it is about curriculum and so on. So the response, it is not your response. It is based on the feedback and based on the committee or the person responsible about this feedback. Attached report, there is a report. Of course, you have samples and you can write a report to show all questions with the results should be out of 5. If there is other evaluation also, as I told you, independent evaluation program, there's the committee, stakeholders, faculty members, as you see, alumni, employers, have to include them. Really, it is maybe for a regular annual program report, maybe faculty members is enough. But for accreditation, I think program advisory committee or stakeholders, employers, it is important to have evaluation results and to show them. And write your strengths, points for improvements, and suggestions for improvement if you have. After that, you will go to the most important thing in the annual program report, key performance indicators. As you know, the NCAAA adopted 17 KPIs and they should be measured by every program, and you can add any other KPIs that you need to improve your program. And the KPI, for example, there is KPI 01, which is percentage of operational plan achievement, and the target benchmark, it is based on the last measured value, and this is your target, annual target. For example, I want the achievement should be 90%. How you can measure this KPI, there is another issue. For every KPI, there is a definition, description, and how to measure. The actual value, it was 80%, for example, maybe 91, and the internal benchmark you can internal benchmark compare your program with other same program, and internally maybe it should be 795. You can write analysis here. The new target based on the actual value, and I want it to be 93, and so on. This is another issue. Fill all benchmark here. Your analysis here, you have to write that it is the below or above the benchmark or something related to the results. And you have comments. After filling these tables with KPIs, now the analysis of program evaluation, you can write strength, areas for improvement, and priorities for improvement for this issue. You see from here program evaluation. So from here and here and here and here and KPIs, you can write your comments here and your analysis. This section, difficulties and challenges faced program management. This is also, you can take some of them from course reports. This is related to the management things, for example, the timetable, the infrastructure, the classrooms, anything, learning resources, any textbooks you can be written here and action taken. For example, this year it is not about only one course, maybe several courses, or maybe major problem for all the program. For example, the classrooms problems or electricity problem or labs problem can be written here, and if there is implications on the program, it should be written here and the action is taken. For example, lectures missed due to the no electricity for example, and the action taken, lectures are compensated. For example, you can write this is and be careful here, internal and external and challenges. So maybe you have challenges internally and maybe externally that affected your program and you faced some difficulties. Program improvement plan, as you see, priorities for improvement. All yours taken priorities for improvement written before. You can write actions for them and who is responsible about this action and the achievement indicators and the target benchmark. So it is important here that you link the KPI of the indicators with these actions. So in order to measure your achievement, the actions were good or not. How can I know? Through measuring the KPI. For example, priorities for improvement is to include, for example, to enhance the math or English language for students. Who is responsible? Basic science courses or College of Science. For example, this responsibility. The action is to give more courses in differential equations or in English language. And who is responsible? College of Science started first 2 weeks, maybe first and second week. What is the indicators? For example, you have to relate to indicator, for example, the pass percentage, for example. Or you have priorities for improvement is to decrease the number of withdrawn students in the program. What is the action? Is to make activities and to make the advising process more effective and to give instructions to advisors to include this in their advising process. The action responsibility, the advising committee and the instructors, the first 2 weeks of the semester. The indicator is the number of percentage of withdrawn students. The target benchmark, for example, we should be less than 5%. and so on. So you have to write your action plan. Your action or improvement plan, should be related to your priorities for improvement and should be linked or related to indicators. This is the council committee. They should read, discuss the contents and approve. This is the number of this department council and date. These are the attachments. Separate governance report for male and female, report on programming of complex methods for male and female, sections, as you see, a report on the students evaluation program quality and independent rigorous report and other surveys rules if any. So this is what I wanted to explain to you. You have to prepare yourself, prepare data, prepare reports, cost reports, program specification, results of surveys for students, for faculty members, for others, and to be ready to fill this, and of course statistical data from trusted sources, and should be written by the committee and should be revised and reviewed and by reviewers, and finally should be approved by the department council. Thank you very much for your time, for listening, and see you again inshallah with another subjects or another quality issue. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.